Do what is right, not what is easy. Blessed day, dear students. I welcoming you all to this online session. We have successfully completed our August monthly test. I and appreciate all of you for your active participation in this online learning. Today, we will start the next chapter, the third chapter, tissue level of organization, in which we will discuss about animal tissues and its types. We have variety of organisms in our planet ranging from unicellular to multicellular. In unicellular organisms, the single cell carries out all the body functions such as digestion, respiration, and reproduction. In multicellular organisms, cells do not operate independently. Instead, they form tight cell communities that live and work together. So, group of cells that are similar in structure and perform a common function is called as tissue. So, lower classes la நம்ம படிச்சிருப்போம் what is meant by cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of a living organisms. இல்லையா? So, group of cells is called as tissues. Okay, these tissues are organized in specific proportion and patterns to form organs. So, group of tissues combine to form a organ like lungs, heart, stomach, kidneys, etc. Hence, the tissues are called as living fabrics. If two or more organs perform common physical and chemical functions, they are called as organ systems. Example, digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, etc. Most of the organs contain different types of tissues and their arrangement determines the organ structure and function. Study of tissues is called as histology. Logy means study. Study of tissues is called as histology. So, animal tissues are classified according to their size, shape, and function of the cells. So, there are different types of animal tissues. Four primary tissue types. They are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. Let us see one by one. First one is the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is a sheet of cells that covers the body surface. So, epi means outer. So, அப்போ நம்ம உடம்புக்கு வெளியில் அப்படியே ஃபுல்லாக நம்ம உடம்பை கவர் பண்ணுறது ஓகேவா or lines the body cavity. It occurs in the body as a covering. அது நம்மளுக்கு பாடியை கவர் பண்ணுது. So, it acts as a covering, as a lining epithelium and as glandular epithelium. What is meant by glandular? Glandular means it secretes something. For example, if you take skin எடுத்துக்கோ நம்ம உடம்பு ஃபுல்லாக கவர் ஆயிருக்கு இல்லையா? So it acts as a covering as well as the glandular. Glandular means it secretes oil glands. Sebaceous glands are present in our skin. So what is the function of this epithelium? This includes protection, absorption, filtration, excretion, secretion, and sensory reception. This epithelial tissue helps in protection, absorption, it absorbs and it filtrates, it excretes the waste, it secretes and it acts as a sense organ, that is the sensory reception. So based on the structural modification of the cells, the epithelial cells are classified into two types. One is simple epithelium, another one is compound epithelium. What is simple epithelium? Simple epithelium means single layer of cells are present, whereas in compound epithelium, many layers of cells are present. So this compound epithelium is also called as stratified epithelium. First we see simple epithelium. Simple epithelium is composed of single layer of cells. They are found in the organs of absorption, secretion, and filtration. This simple epithelium is further classified into squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, ciliated epithelium, and pseudostratified epithelium. So this simple tissue further divided into 5 types: squamous, cuboidal, columnar, ciliated and pseudostratified epithelium. First is squamous epithelium. This squamous epithelium is made up of single thin layer of flattened cells. Squamous means flattened cells with irregular boundaries. These are found in the kidney glomeruli, air sacs of lungs, lining of the heart, blood vessels, etc. So the main function of this squamous epithelium is filtration and protection. Second is the cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium is made up of a single layer of cube-like cells. Cube-like ice cube போல இருக்கும். So this tissue is commonly found in kidney tubules, ducts and secretory portion of small glands on the surface of the ovary. So you know about kidney tubules, kidney glomeruli, because in 10th standard you might have studied about the mechanism of urine formation. Mechanism of urine formation la படிச்சிருக்கோம். Kidney tubules is divided into 3: proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule and Henle's loop. அதுதான் kidney tubule. Kidney glomeruli means that a network of blood capillaries is called as glomeruli. ஓகேவா? இந்த இடத்துலலாம் இந்த செல்ஸ் இருக்கும். Third one is the columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium is composed of single layer of tall cells. Column pillar போல, pillar தூண் போல இருக்கும். So it is a tall cells with a round or oval nuclei found at the base. Where this columnar epithelium is present in the digestive tract from stomach to the rectum. There are 2 modifications in this columnar epithelial lining, or the presence of microvilli. Microvilli is nothing but a finger-like projection which is helpful for absorption of substances. So this microvilli act as absorptive cells and goblet cells. Goblet cells secretes the protective lubricating mucus. So it secretes mucus. The functions of this columnar epithelium include absorption, secretion of mucus, enzymes and other substances. If this columnar epithelium bears cilia, cilia means a small hair-like structure. Okay, you can see in this. So if the columnar epithelium bears cilia on the free surfaces, they are called as ciliated epithelium. This ciliated type propels the mucus by ciliary actions. So ciliana சின்ன hair like அப்படியே மூவ் பண்ணும். இப்படி hair ஆடுற மாதிரி. அப்போ அதில் இருக்கக்கூடிய பார்ட்டிகல்ஸ்லாம் என்ன பண்ணுது? அது மூவ் பண்ணுது. ஓகேவா? It lines the small bronchioles. Bronchioles are present in the respiratory tract. அந்த லங்ஸில் இருக்கும் இல்லையா? Bronchioles, fallopian tube and uterus in the female reproductive system. இல்லையா? fallopian tubeல தான் அந்த zygote ஃபார்ம் ஆகி மூவ் ஆகி வரும். ஸோ அந்த ஃபர்டிலைசேஷனே ஃபெலோப்பியன் டியூப்ல தான் நடக்கும். அந்த எக்கை மூவ் பண்ண வைக்கிறது இந்த ciliated epithelium. And the non-ciliated type lines most of the digestive tract, gallbladder and secretory ducts of glands. So non-ciliated type is present in the digestive part. And last one is the pseudo-stratified epithelial cells. Pseudo அப்படின்னாலே false, stratified means compound epithelium சொல்றோம். So these cells are columnar but unequal in size. Columnar cells தான், ஆனா unequal இருக்கும். Although this epithelium is single layered, it appears to be a multi-layered. பார்க்கறதுக்கு multi-layer மாதிரி இருக்கும், ஆனா அது ஆக்சுவலா single layer தான். Because the nuclei lie at different levels in the cells. ஸோ நம்ம ஏற்கனவே பார்த்துருக்குறோம் காலும்னார் எபித்திலியமில் அப்படியே ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்கும் நியூக்ளியஸ்னு. ஆனால் இங்கே நியூக்ளியஸ் வேறு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் லெவல்ஸில் இருக்குது. Hence it is also called as pseudo-stratified epithelium. It will be asked in 2 marks. And its functions are protection, secretion and absorption. This ciliated forms line the trachea and upper respiratory tract. Ciliated forms இங்கே இருக்கும் trachea, windpipe and the upper respiratory tract. The non-ciliated forms line the epididymis. What is epididymis? Epididymis is a part of male reproductive system. இதெல்லாம் நீங்கள் 12th போனால் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லெசன்லேயே படிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிடுவீங்க. Large ducts of a gland and a tract of male urethra. Next, some of the cuboidal or columnar cells get specialized for secretion. சில செல்ஸ் பார்த்தோன்னா செக்ரீட் பண்ணும். ஸோ அதனால் அதுக்கு பேர் கிளாண்டுலார் எபித்தீலியம். கிளாண்ட் அப்படின்னாலே எக்ஸோக்ரைன் கிளாண்ட், எண்டோக்ரைன் கிளாண்ட், இதெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், 10th படிச்சிருக்கோம். அப்போ கிளாண்டுலார் மீன்ஸ் இட் செக்ரீட் சம்திங். தே ஆர் mainly two types: unicellular, consisting of isolated glandular cells that is found in the goblet cells of alimentary canal, and the other type is the multicellular, consisting of a cluster of cells that is present in the salivary gland. So there are two glandular types, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular is found in the alimentary canal, whereas the multicellular is found in the salivary gland. On the basis of the mode of pouring the secretion, these glands are divided into two categories. One is exocrine, another one is the endocrine glands. What is exocrine gland? Exocrine gland secretes mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzymes, and other cell products. These products are released through ducts. Ducts na tube nu artham. In contrast, the endocrine glands do not have duct. Endocrine glands are ductless glands. Duct irukadu, tube irukadu. Their secretions are called hormones, which are secreted directly into the fluid bathing the gland. Direct நம்மளோட blood கூட mix ஆயிடும். எது? இந்த hormones. So the exocrine glands are classified as unicellular and multicellular glands. The multicellular glands are further classified based on the structure as simple gland and compound glands. So based on the secretory unit as tubular, alveolar, and tubulo-alveolar. So based on the mode of secretion, the exocrine glands are classified as merocrine, holocrine, and apocrine. So what are the three types of exocrine glands? May be asked in 2 mark. Merocrine, holocrine, and apocrine. Next we see compound epithelium. Compound epithelium is made up of more than one layer, that is multi-layered of cells, and it has the limited role in secretion and absorption. This compound epithelium may be stratified or transitional. The compound epithelium may be stratified and transitional. So what is the main functions of this compound epithelium? It provides protection against chemical and mechanical stresses, and it covers the body surface of the skin, the moist surface of the buccal cavity, pharynx, lining of the ducts of salivary gland, and pancreatic ducts. ஆக மொத்தம் digestive system அப்படியே ஃபுல்லாக இன்க்ளூட் ஆகுது இந்த compound epithelium. So there are 4 types of compound epithelium. They are stratified squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, and transitional epithelium. Very simple epithelium la vanda madriye dhaan. So stratified, squamous, cuboidal, columnar, and transitional. Stratified squamous epithelium is of 2 types, called keratinized and non-keratinized type. Keratin அப்படின்னா என்னது? Keratin என்றது ஒரு protein that is present in the skin. ஓகேவா? ஸோ keratinized type which forms the dry epidermis of the skin. Keratinizedனா dry epidermis இருக்கும். Non-keratinized அப்படின்னா moistா இருக்கும். keratin இருந்தால் ட்ரையாக இருக்கும். keratin இல்லைன்னா moistா இருக்கும். Okay, lining the esophagus, mouth, conjunctiva of the eyes, and vagina. Next is the stratified cuboidal epithelium. These are found in the ducts of sweat gland and mammary gland. Sweat glands, mammary glands, இங்க இருக்கிறது stratified cuboidal epithelium. And stratified columnar epithelium is found around the lumen of the pharynx. Lumen space, okay va? Male urethra and the lining of some glandular ducts. And last is the transitional epithelium. It is found lining the ureter, urinary bladder, and a part of urethra. அதாவது excretory system. The ureter, urinary bladder, urethra. இது மூணுமே சேர்ந்தது தானே excretory system. So this transitional epithelium is found in the excretory system. இதை மைண்டில் வச்சுக்கோ. This epithelium allows stretching and is protective in function. So இது என்ன பண்ணுது? Stretch பண்ணுது. If the urinary bladder is full, அப்படியே urinary bladder ஆகும், stretch ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும். So this transitional epithelium is found in this excretory system. In most of the animal tissues, the specialized junctions இருக்கும் நிறையா, which provide the structural and functional link between the individual cells. So there are three types of cell junctions that are found in the epithelium and other tissues. So what are the three types of cell junctions? 3-mark question. One is tight, adhering and gap. Tight junction helps to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. டைட்டாக இருக்கிறதுனால லீக் ஆகாது இல்லையா, சப்ஸ்டன்ஸ் லீக் ஆகாது across the tissue. Adhering junction perform cementing to keep neighboring cell together. Adhering அப்படியே பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிறத டைட்டாக பிடிச்சிக்கும், ஓகேவா, adhere பண்ணுது. Cementing to keep the neighboring cell together. And gap junction facilitates the cell to communicate with each other. Gap நடுவில் கேப் இருக்கு, ஸோ அதனால ஒரு செல்லுக்கு இன்னொரு செல்லுக்கு நடுவில் கம்யூனிகேஷன் இருக்கும் with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of the adjoining cells for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules and sometimes big molecules. So what are the three types of cell junction? Tight junction, adherent junction and gap junction. Next we move on to the connective tissue. Connective tissue develops from mesoderm and is widely distributed in the body. The major functions of connective tissues are binding and support, protection, insulation, and transportation of substances. So connective tissue helps in binding the bones or the muscles, and it gives a mechanical support. It protects and it acts as an insulator, and it helps to transport substances. Not only this, it also involved in immune response. So what are the components of connective tissue? All connective tissue consists of three main components, namely fibers, ground substance and cells. Fibers, ground substance and cells. The fibers of connective tissue provide support. Three types of fibers are found in this connective tissue matrix. They are collagen, elastic and reticular fibers. Fibers se moonu vidham: collagen, elastic and reticular fibers. If you see the classification of this connective tissue is divided into three: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue and specialized connective tissue. Loose connective, dense connective and specialized connective tissue. We will see one by one. Loose connective tissue. In this tissue, the cell's fibers are loosely arranged in a semi-fluid ground substance. From name itself you can understand they are loosely arranged. For example, it has three: areolar, adipose and reticular tissue. In areolar connective tissue is found beneath the skin. It acts as a support framework for epithelium and acts as a reservoir for water and salts for the surrounding body tissues. Hence, they are called as tissue fluid. It contains fibroblast, macrophages and mast cells. These are the cells which is involved for immune response. Next is the adipose tissue, similar to that of the areolar tissue in structure and function and located beneath the skin. Adipocytes, commonly called adipose or fat cells. The cells of this tissue store fat and excess nutrients which are not utilized immediately or converted to fats and is stored in tissues. இப்போ நம்ம சாப்பிட்ற சாப்பாடுலேருந்து அதிகமான நியூட்ரியன்ஸ் சப்போஸ் இருந்துச்சுன்னா அந்த நியூட்ரியன்ஸ்லாம் என்னவா மாற்றும், ஃபேட்டாக மாற்றி ஸ்டோர் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோம் டிஷ்யூஸில். எது? இந்த அடிப்போசைட்ஸ். அடிப்போஸ் டிஷ்யூஸ் ஆர் ஆல்சோ ஃபவுண்ட் இன் சப்குட்டேனியஸ் டிஷ்யூஸ். சப்குட்டேனியஸ்னால் ஸ்கின்னுக்கு கீழே, சரௌண்டிங் த கிட்னிஸ், ஐபால், ஹார்ட் எக்ஸெட்ரா. Adipose tissue is also called as white tissue because it is white in structure. கொழுப்பு வெள்ளை கலரில் தான் இருக்கும், நீங்கள் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. So the adipose tissue which contains abundant mitochondria, நிறைய mitochondria இருந்தால், is called as brown tissue or brown adipose tissue. White fat stores nutrients, whereas brown fat is used to heat the bloodstream to warm the body. So இது ஒரு important 2-mark question. What are the different types of adipose and brown adipose? White fat stores nutrients, whereas brown fat is used to heat the bloodstream to warm the body. Brown fat produces heat by non-shivering thermogenesis in the neonates. Neonates is nothing but a newborn child. Next is the reticular connective tissue. Reticular connective tissue resembles the areolar connective tissue, but the matrix is filled with the fibroblast called reticular cells. Fibroblast is called as the reticular cells. It forms the internal framework that supports the blood cells. You can see the internal structure of this is called as a stroma. The chloroplastனோட ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் உள்ள என்ன இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா ஸ்ட்ரோமான்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா. ஸோ அதே மாதிரி this reticular tissues, the internal framework is called as stroma, which supports the blood cells in the lymph nodes, spleen and bone marrow. And is the dense connective tissue. These fibers and fibroblast are compactly packed in this dense connective tissue. It is divided into three: regular, irregular and elastic. Dense regular connective tissue primarily contain collagen fibers in rows between many parallel bundles of tissues, and few are elastic fibers. Dense regular means they are collagen fibers arranged in rows, நிறைய parallel இருக்கும், bundles இருக்கும், ஓகேவா. சிலது வந்து எலாஸ்டிக்கா இருக்கும். So the major cell type is the fibroblast. So where this regular connective tissue, dense regular, is present, this is present in tendons and ligaments. So what is a tendon? Tendon attaches the skeletal muscles to the bones, whereas ligaments attaches the one bone to another. Next is the dense irregular connective tissue. These are the bundle of thick collagen fibers and fibroblast which are arranged irregularly. If the bundles are arranged regularly, it is called as dense regular. If it is arranged irregularly, it is called as dense irregular. The major cell type is the fibroblast. It can able to withstand the tension exerted in many directions and provide structural strength to the body. ஸோ இது என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா, சுற்றி நம்ம மசில்ஸ்க்கு வரக்கூடிய டென்ஷன், அந்த ப்ரெஷர், அது எல்லாத்தையும் வித்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி நம்மளுக்கு ஸ்ட்ரக்சரல் ஸ்ட்ரென்த் கொடுக்குது. Third one is the elastic connective tissue. This elastic connective tissue contains high proportion of elastic fibers. Elastic அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் நல்லா இழுத்து எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் ஆகும், ரிலாக்ஸ் ஆகும். It allows the recoil of tissues following the stretching. This elastic connective tissue is found in the walls of large arteries. Arteries is nothing but the blood vessel. blood flow ஆகும்பொழுது அதிகமாக ஒருவேளை blood flow ஆச்சுன்னா அந்த லார்ஜ் ஆர்டரிஸ் என்ன பண்ணும், அப்படி லைட்டாக எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் ஆகி ரிலாக்ஸ் ஆகும். The ligaments associated with vertebral column. ஸோ வெர்டிபிரல் காலம்னா முதுகெலும்பு இருக்கும், ஒரு முதுகெலும்புக்கும் நடுவில் லிகமெண்ட் இருக்கும். அந்த லிகமெண்ட் இருக்கிறதுனால தான் நம்மளால் வளைய முடியுது இல்லையா. ஸோ இந்த லிகமெண்ட்ஸ் அசோசியேட்டட் வித் வெர்டிபிரல் காலமில் இருக்கும். And within the walls of the bronchial tubes, air உள்ள போகுது, bronchus respiratory systemல இந்த this type of elastic connective tissue இருக்கும். I hope you understand this. We will continue in the afternoon session. Thank you.